Hi, howdy, welcome back. It's been a week or two since I did my last video. Babies. So many babies. Anyway, if you can't tell by the title of today's video, we're doing a second impressions video. Now, if this is your first time here, first off, feel free to reach down and hit like. If this is not your first time here, feel free to reach down and hit subscribe, then like, either or whatever makes you feel comfortable. Now, if you're not too familiar with my second impressions video, most of my videos are basically first time reviews, never use the product straight off the cuff. I kind of want to give it as honest and as straightforward as possible. Now, my second impression videos usually happen, I've only done a couple of these, when my initial impression has changed. And if you can't tell by the title of today's video, we are looking at the Natasha Denona Mini Retro Palette. This little beauty. And when I first did it, I was not a fan. Watch the video. Oops, sorry. Watch the video and you will see that I don't like it. That has changed, and I kind of felt like it was dishonest not to update, if that makes any kind of sense, to not let you guys know that that has changed and why it has changed. Now, when I first did my very first video, I don't know if there's like a sealant on top of these eyeshadows. I know some brands do put almost like a sealant, so the first use or two is kind of clunky, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's the case with Natasha Denona, but I do know that the first time I applied this, I was not impressed. Like, for the price point and the, I guess you say, reputation of the lady that creates it, Natasha Denona, I was expecting more. And I think that was my problem, is I went into it with some preconceptions of what it would be, if that makes any kind of sense. Usually if I don't like something right off the bat, I will give it a couple more tries, and most of the time I pretty much stick with my initial impression. In this case, it did change. Now, I'm going to swatch these, give you guys a look-see while I'm talking about it. I think part of my problem when I did this was I went into this kind of mentally comparing it to like Pat McGrath, Charlotte Tilbury, you know, the competitors. And I don't think that was, I think that was necessarily part of my problem. I think that was not necessarily fair. This color, hold on. Not necessarily fair to this product. Because let's face it, it's not these products. And it's a basic palette, I'm not gonna lie. It is pretty neutral. It's some pinks, some grays. It's nothing that's going to, bam, stand out to you and make you look any type of way. But basically, I think my expectations were off. Like, if you've ever done Pat McGrath's makeup formula is just unfreaking believable. Like, you would never regret the cost, you'll never regret the product. And the difference, I think, is in formulation. With this one, I was, like I said, I think I was expecting something along Charlotte Tilbury, Natasha Denona levels. And it is, but in its own right, if that makes any kind of sense. Her formulation is a little different. She uses, I think it's mica, if I'm right? Mica in her makeup, which is, a lot of companies use talc or something variation on this. Mica can be a little bit slipperier, a little bit more slick during application, changes a little bit how it's applied. It does blend a little differently, and in this case I think that was part of it, was I was expecting a formulation too much similar to what I was used to from other ones. Now actually I have taken to using this pretty regular. If you can't tell by there's some dips in there. It's quick, it's easy, it's close to hand. It's very flattering if you know how to do it. I'm just playing with this. But my impression has definitely changed. So if you've never tried Natasha Denona, please, please don't let my very first impression be what sways you to avoid it. It is definitely something that I was wrong on. Like, I have not only come to enjoy this, but I've ended up picking up several other Natasha Denona palettes. Full palettes. So I ended up with the Metropolis palette, the Gold palette, quite a few of her palettes, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm glad several of my viewers, like several of y'all, basically messaged me and said, there's gotta be something wrong. If you don't like this, try it again. And I'm grateful that I did, because it is actually a really good formula. and that they were nice enough to reach out and be like, okay, something's off. Try it with a little bit less bias as you go into it. And that was really what it was. These days, I'm finding I enjoy this and a lot of her variations much more than I do Charlotte Tilbury. I know that's almost like heresy coming out of my mouth because I own just about every single Charlotte Tilbury quad she's ever put out and her Instant Eye palettes. But lately these days I'm enjoying this more, and I think it is the variety in colors, the way it's approached. This palette alone, how do I put this? If you're a big fan of Pillow Talk, I would suggest trying this one. It's not as pinky as Charlotte Tilbury goes for, and let's face it, Charlotte Tilbury is all about the pinks, the corals, and the terracottas. She does not vary too far out of that, and I wish she would. But if you look at the Natasha Denonas, like, I'm glad she paired this with a gray. Like, when I tend to wear this, I wear this one here. Use this to smoke it out. Now, I use this sometimes, the metallic, to pop it across the center, or I will add these like as toppers. And let's be honest, this one, let's see if I can get it without the light reflecting. What do you think of my new lighting setup, guys? Let me know. This one is straight up a topper. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's a topper. It's not something that is going to just be its own color on its own. And you can see that even on my arm. So, for anybody who, you know, thought I was insane, like, that's the, I'm going to be honest, that's the way I do this, is it's usually right off the cuff. It's my very first impression. And that's what I give you guys. Sometimes they do change, and occasionally if I'm reviewing something that I've had longer, it's not a first impression. It's tried, it's true. This is what we're doing. But in this case, I have no problem saying it. I was wrong. I was wrong. I will be reviewing some other Natasha Denona stuff that I have gotten since I gave this a second try, and I'm glad I did. But for any of you, don't let my one review be too biasing. Like, I mean, everybody's looking for something different in eye makeup, and in my case, I guess I just was not expecting the way this was formulated, but on a couple of other tries, it is definitely something I would say buy. Okay, guys, let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you've tried Natasha Denona's Mini Retro. Yep, Mini Retro. Or if, you know, if you're thinking about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have no problem answering questions if you have any. Anyway, thanks. Be safe. Have a nice day. Remember, COVID is still on the rise. Yay, I've had it twice now. Twice. Yeah, I've had it a second time in the last couple weeks, actually. Anyway, be safe. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.